Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ryan Nordahl here. If you're new to my channel or you haven't already, I'd really appreciate you hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications, that way every time I upload a new video you get that notification right away. Give this video a like and a share, and hey, leave a comment. Anyway, today we're tackling a few projects here on my home property. It's been very wet the last week and a half or so. Trying to get stands hung. I'm supposed to be going to Missouri, Kansas. Supposed to leave Saturday night, Sunday morning, but everything's been pushed back with the amount of rain that we've had here. I mean, Monday evening we had 5 to 6 inches of rain right here at our house. So it's been impossible to get a lot of work done as far as client food plot work goes. I've got a lot of clover plots that need mowing, fertilizing, and a couple that need to be reestablished. We need to figure that out. But today I'm going to tackle some of my own projects that have been getting neglected. You can see the overgrown rye here got ahead of me, but there's a lot of clover in here. You look down here below me, you can see the amount of clover that's down in here. So we want to give that some breathing room, get some fertilizer on it. We've got some respraying to do on a couple plots that we're trying to kill off. They've greened back up, and so my goal, my intention, sorry guys, there's some deer flies on my hand here holding the camera. But my goal with a few of my plots is to just keep ahead of the weeds, keep them sprayed down, killed off. So come that magic date of August 1st, or when the first rain around that period allows, to broadcast my fall seeding blends. What that'll be right now is kind of up in the air. I would like to, in one plot, however, before the end of June here, is get some Dirty Bird from Domain Outdoor out, and a little bit of plot screening. There's still time. I've done plot screening all the way up until about the right around the 4th of July, 10th of July, and had tremendous success with it. Still hit those rains right those years, got the urea on it, everything, and still made for a good screen. So there's still time. There's still time to do these warm season seedings as well. But this is what we're going to tackle right away here. Get this down with the steel weed trimmer here. It's what I've got for tools to get up in here. Just not a lot of access up into this plot. This has kind of been a hand tool type of kill plot up in here. It's in the southeast corner of my property. Big fence line that the deer run on back and forth, east and west, going from one big oak ridge over to another, over to the west here. This plot is, we haven't hunted it a whole lot. We don't get the right winds for it a lot. I prefer to hunt it on an east wind where it's blowing my scent back toward my house, and I can hunt it on a northwest wind. It's just, I haven't hunted it a lot. I just haven't taken the opportunity either. But we're gonna hopefully do that a little bit more this fall. We've got a good buck in the area, drop tine, that made it through last year. I've seen him a couple times. I actually had him in the yard here. I tried to get video of him the other night when he was in the yard. He's an impressive deer already for a 5.5-year-old deer this early in the season. It's middle of June here now when I'm filming this one, so the amount of growth that he has makes things really exciting. Looking forward to the upcoming season. But we're going to get to work here, and we'll leave it at that. That only took about 10 minutes. It's not a very big plot at all, you know, that's the end. I mean, right there, it's probably, what, 25 foot wide. Down here, you know, not very. And it goes, there's a trail. The trail goes right out there, connects to another food plot about 50, 60 yards away. We're not going to do anything with that food plot this year. I want them to come out into a different plot that we're going to have over across a little valley. There's a little valley right down in here, a little waterway. I want them to go over that. I want the plot up on the other hill, and that's going to allow for better access into a stand, especially for southwest winds and catching that deer movement as they go across the end of the pond to and fro, and it's going to set up well. But what we're going to do here, we've got this mowed now. Now is the time to come in with a granular fertilizer or a liquid fertilizer. Domain just come out with some new products, and I can't remember the name of the one right offhand, but I'd like to use it, but I think I have some granular left over down in my garage. I want to get some granular potash on here, some straight 0060, and give this a little bit of a boost. I wouldn't want to come in here with like a foliar fertilizer now, because the idea behind foliar fertilizer, we'd have to let this green up about another 10 days to 2 weeks and then come in with a foliar fertilizer, because that needs foliar contact, and the more surface area it can connect with, the better it's going to perform. And I'm a guy who wants to get the most bang for his buck, so I think we're going to stick with our granular fertilizer. We've got rain coming in tonight, and that'll help soak this in real good. We're going to do that a little bit later here today. I want to tackle some other projects. You probably won't see me in this video broadcasting any fertilizer. If I am, I'll make sure, or if I do, I'll make sure to get it on video. But I got to have a little access trail. My stand is right up in this tree right over here. I got to mow my access trail down and keep ahead of that. So we haven't done that yet this year. You can see I'm a mess. Wife will be real impressed, but hey, we'll make sure we blow off when we get down to the air compressor in the garage, and so we don't make a mess going in the house. But feels good to have this little plot done. Deer flies are starting to pretty bad out here. Just come off a little bout of Lyme disease too that I've been dealing with. We were in northern Missouri a couple weeks ago, and the Lone Star ticks were terrible. We had our clothes treated, we sprayed down with tick repellent, all that we could do, and still got bit by a few of those Lone Stars, and paid the price this past weekend. They're nothing to mess with. I'm actually going to be putting out another video about how I treat my clothes, what I use to spray myself down when I'm going into the woods, you know, what I like to wear for clothes during tick season like this, because Lyme disease is something you don't want. I've dealt with it twice now in the last 2 years, first times ever in my life, and it's just one of those things that's becoming more and more prevalent, it seems. I know my dad has been battling since December, actually. He's been battling a little bit of Lyme disease, hot Lyme disease, and the residual effects of it. It's been tough on him. I know he's a little bit older, but still in relatively good health otherwise. But it's put him down a few times over the last 6 months, and you got to take it seriously, and you got to do what you can. Don't think you're invisible to it, you know, because you're not, and it'll hit you. I always thought I was. I went 45 years of my life without Lyme disease, and finally last year it got me, and got me again this year, this past weekend actually. So We're trying to take every precaution that we can, becoming more and more precautious, more and more educated, more and more aware about what Lyme's disease is and the other tick-borne disease, auriculosis, and I can't remember the other one that's pretty severe, but you got to take it seriously, guys. And I'll be putting out another video on what I do to help reduce the chances of contracting Lyme's disease. And what I do, I'd like to have a little bit of a video, a little bit of a B-roll to show you how I remove ticks. I don't use the traditional tweezers or forceps or anything like that. I can explain what I do, but I'll leave that for another video. We're going to get back to work here, and hopefully we can finish up here this afternoon. Now ideally with that access trail, I could spray down some ground clear on that too. And that ground clear, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can find that on Amazon. And that'll have residual, I think up to 2 years of residual in it. So you wouldn't want to use it on your food plots at all. I don't think anything would grow. But that would clear out all the weeds right now. And you know, now is a good time to clean up your access trails. We've been doing a lot of it on a couple of the properties that I've been helping set stands on, mowing those access trails. That way, you know, that work is done. We're there setting those stands, so we might as well clean out our access and keep the weeds sprayed down. That way we don't have to go back, we don't have to be invasive, because some of those sets, you know, they're in those prime locations where those bucks are cruising between bedding and food sources, and we don't want to be in there disturbing that. You know, I understand that bucks shift, but there are bucks that will, you know, that's their home. They won't move very much at all, and we want to stay out of there now as much as we can. We got our stand set when it was cool, and we took care of the access. We sprayed them down so the weeds don't come back at all. And the idea behind that is I don't want to be brushing up against anything walking in or walking out, leaving as little scent, as little human indication to deer as possible. That's the name of the game, especially when it comes to small properties like I have here, 16 acres. Deer cannot know they're being hunted, and the smaller the property, the more attention to detail you have to take. Well, that's going to be a wrap for today. Hope you found something educational about all of that. I know I didn't explain a lot, but I hope what I did explain, I explained thoroughly to you. Why I'm doing it this time of year and everything. As far as spraying the food plots again, you know, just using that backpack sprayer. You can find a link for that backpack sprayer down below. Come off of Amazon. I got it about 6 years ago. I believe it was 2018 when I got that sprayer. So it's a Chapin sprayer, Chapin, however you want to say it. It's been a really good backpack sprayer to last that long. There's a few little parts that could be replaced on it. I know the O-ring over the fill lid, that could be replaced. But I'm going to get showered up here. These deer flies are terrible. Forgot to spray down, but it is what it is. Did a little spray in here around my house and stuff. You can see the creeping Charlie already starting to wilt. I sprayed that just less than an hour ago with Roundup. Ain't that something? It's already starting to curl up like that. And I know I need to mow my yard. Our mower's been broke down. It is what it is. But even this burdock is starting to wilt. That burdock was just sprayed like 45 minutes ago, within the hour. So, anyway, you guys take care. Stay safe out there. Good luck with your continued habitat projects here over the summer. You guys need any advice or anything, feel free to reach out. You can find information, contact me in my website. I'll leave a link to my website down below as well, like I always do in the description. So you want to check that out. But thanks for joining me, guys. God bless you all, and keep living the dream.